All right, we're going to start the debate on should Americans be required to provide 1 year of national service. We'll have our first speaker on the proposition.
Hello, my name is Brooklyn Hamlin. I am the first speaker for the proposition side, and today we are here to prove to you that Americans must be required to perform 1 year of national service. Our three main points of our debate today are that first, mandatory national service will restore patriotism and build a bond between citizens and the country. Our second reason is that it will benefit the community, and our third and final argument is that it will create jobs and help our nation's economy flourish. My team would like to define national service as different types of community work performed by citizens to help the government and country as a whole. As I've already stated, our first point today is that it will restore patriotism in our country. One way national service could be implemented into our country would be by offering students various options of different types of community service they can perform around the time when they graduate from high school and apply for college, so colleges could help institute the mandatory national service. According to Mark Joseph at the Huffington Post, only 37.5% of Salt Lake City volunteers annually, while only 19.2% of New York City volunteers annually. 1 year of service would make young adults feel responsible and morally obligated to help America, forming and strengthening an attachment and commitment to our country, and raising the percentage of volunteers in each state. Graduates would learn about new service branches based on issues like education, healthcare, poverty, and other new branches so that these problems can be solved in the future. We need a more informed and educated generation to lead our future, and national service will create this. According to the Washington Post, the turnout of voters for the recent election was the lowest for a midterm in more than 70 years. Young adults would have a newfound interest in government and politics, raising the voter turnout and representing more citizens. National service is also already doing good in many places. For example, 150 national service members in an urban safety corps in Detroit are reducing crime in their neighborhood, increasing reading skills of elementary students, and making sure kids get to school safely through national service. Crime has declined in these neighborhoods, and cost of public leads has been lowered, saving taxpayers millions of dollars, which my team members will get into later. States like Iowa and Virginia are hiring former members of existing national service agencies into state government positions because they believe that these national service volunteers have built-in skills like leadership, problem solving, and working in teams. We would have a country with a common set of experiences throughout all classes, genders, races, and it would eliminate divisions amongst, it would eliminate economic, political, and cultural divisions in our society. Now, judge and audience, ask yourself this. Would you want to live somewhere where almost all citizens receive the benefits of a free country without having to devote any of their time to it? That's the type of country we're living in today. We need patriotism back in our country, and that is why 1 year of national service must be required in America. Thank you.
Okay, first speaker for the opposition.
So, I'm Evan, first speaker for the opposition. I'm going to list pieces of evidence that will support my team's argument, which is that national service, Americans should not serve the year of national service under any circumstances. So now we believe that national service will benefit the country, so it should be encouraged, but not mandatory, for the reasons that I'm going to list. So first I'd like to state the definition of national service. So according to a Google search, definition of national service is a federal program that enables young people to pay back government loans through community work. It could also mean a period of compulsory service in the armed forces of some countries during peacetime. So first I'm going to state some reasons why national service relating to the military should not be mandatory. According to Bernard Rosker, in an article on RAND.org, and also according to Mr. Berry, our social studies teacher, a volunteer military has worked very well for us. And we have no reason for any sort of draft or national service in the military. Also, we have a vast multitude of jobs in America. We should not be forced to serve in the military. For instance, take this scenario. What if a person will someday be the doctor, finds the cure for cancer, but then they're called into national service? cure for cancer, gone, out of the picture. So we can't afford to delay people's lives an entire year by calling them into national service. Now on to the community service and volunteering definition of national service. We're mainly talking about younger people here, not children, but mainly millennials, young adults. So people may not want to do what they're told. Young adults, millennials are kind of edgy. They don't want to listen. They may not want to do what they're told. And if people don't show up for their volunteering, things are going to get really bad, really fast. Now, here's some statistics. According to Shirley Sagawa, president of the Service Sierra Alliance, a national service program could cost up to $20,000 per person per year. No one wants to pay that kind of money. And in addition, many people have other obligations that make it so that they can't take a whole year out of their life. They might have to take care of a terminally ill relative who has been diagnosed with cancer, or support their entire family. They can't afford to take an entire year out of their life to go and do national service. Now, national service is a good thing, and that's why it should be encouraged. But it definitely should not be mandatory, because if it is mandatory, there will be a big bad government forcing people to work. If it's not mandatory, and you do it, you volunteer of your own free will, there's no big bad government, you're not forced to work, and you will serve out of your own free will. So think about this. Someone could either say, well, I did this out of my own free will, my own decision, I chose to volunteer. Or say, oh yeah, I was forced to do it. It's an obligation. Which one would you pick? So people serve out of their own free will. They may get a sense of pride. So, in conclusion, service, whether military or community should definitely be encouraged, but under no circumstances mandatory and enforced. Thank you. Please support the opposition.
All right, speaker two.
Hello, I'm Aiden Aguirre. We are the second proposition speakers, and we'd like to acknowledge the opposition points as well as our own. Our second contention is that people should be required to volunteer to contribute to the economy, further helping the community grow. Also helping the government in the process. Though in the opposition's argument, they stated that people cannot take time out of their lives to go and help, and also that this would cost way too much money. But every $4 they gain back for every $1 spent as refutation. And he also stated in his argument that people this should not be mandatory. But how can you live in a country where people risk their lives and serve in the military, helping other people, and you expect yourself to sit around all day doing nothing? You also say that this might take away from helping cure cancer or other things like that. Wouldn't you rather serve your country, helping the country in the moment for what needs to be done, helping your community or whatever might be going on in that moment? Because earlier he had said that during, like right now, there's no need for national service, but they should always be ready. There should always be something for them to do to help the economy, helping clean streets, helping other people, especially when events can occur where they are needed. Now, my partner will further introduce our point stating why Americans should be required to a year of national service.
Hi, I am Waleed Muhammad, and I am here arguing the second contention. Throughout America, various problems occur in which the government is too preoccupied to put serious thought, if any, at all. Our team's second contention, as previously stated, volunteers are able to step into a role that help out a government and further a community. For example, national service members can help fight wildfires, help with infrastructure, or give assistance to a local school. Per Isabel Fee Sawhill from Brookings, volunteers can reduce the stress imposed on the government. In addition, Sawhill expands on the topic by asserting that national service programs can be inserted into diverse areas of America. For example, according to CBS Evening News, in 2015, when 83 wildfires were treacherously ruining land in the West, the main problem with combating these fires were the number of people, and as a result, volunteers were called up in order to help disperse the wildfires. To add, the standards in America for community service are ever so changing. Per report conducted by ABC News, anchor of Nightline News, Juju Chang, introduces 2 high school students ready for college. When applying, the 2 students were surprised by the amount of community service required to enter college. This fact only pushes the claim of community service and using community service or volunteerism to expand the country. In total, as stated in our first contention, patriotism is a much needed part of American society. As a nation, the government and our communities might as well benefit from citizen moral obligation. According to The Atlantic, national service can create, the government can create 1 million full-time national service positions, and why not have the American government benefit from that? And for that reason, volunteerism can help. Mandatory volunteerism can help the community. That's another reason why mandatory volunteerism should be required in America.
Vote for the proposition side.
Hello, Judge. Hello, audience. My name is Cole. Today I will be refuting my proposition's points and then outline and strengthen my own team's points. First, I would like to start by outlining a term I will use, which is dishonorable discharge. It is when you are a military personnel and are removed due to you not showing up for the term you pledged you would do. According to a survey conducted by the Office of the Secretary of Defense, 9.01% of military personnel are dishonorably discharged, all of whom voluntarily joined the U.S. government. So if citizens are required to join the military, this data will skyrocket. According to HowStuffsWorks.com, volunteer militaries often grant smarter, better suited personnel for military than their civilian counterparts. This means that when you volunteer, you generally have like a purpose to join the military. Say your family has a lot of people in the military, and so you kind of want to follow in their path or something. So you kind of have like a like in your soul, you want to join the military. Whereas if you're forced, you may not want to, which can cause the government to seem like it's going against you and forcing you into the workforce. So also, what I would like to say is they brought up that service could be more important for a cure for cancer, which clearly not. Cure for cancer would definitely increase the spread of how it would affect the world rather than, I don't know, some bum going into the military trying to fight for his country. Also, working a job and spending money helps the economy, whereas being shipped off to a military camp really does not. Oh, and lastly, the idea that the big bad government would change the economy because if the government is forcing you to go to work, maybe you don't want to, and you want to stay at home, live your life like you want. The government's pushing you into, the work, and yeah. Thank you, and support the opposition.
Hello, Judge, audience. My name is Shalay, and I'm the third proposition speaker on the point that every American should be required to do at least a year of national service in their lifetime. I would first like to define service, which is an active, helpful activity. National service is an active, helpful activity to our country. To refute our opponent's points, we are not talking about joining the military. We are talking about volunteering in this country, and it doesn't have to be like when they're about to discover cancer or anything. It can be at any point in their lifetime. It just has to be required because it is an act that is helpful activity to our country. Now I would like to restate and sum up the contentions of my teammates. Our first contention was that national service promotes patriotism, which is direly needed in this country right now. Again, The turnout for the most recent midterm election was the lowest in 70 years. Our second contention is that volunteers are able to help out largely in our community and government. As Waleed stated, there are many crucial things that volunteers can be used for, such as fighting wildfires. This leads into our third contention, which is that a year of national service for all would have many economic benefits for the United States. Currently, only 25.3% of Americans volunteer per year, which saves an equivalent of $184 billion annually. Just imagine how much money we could save if that percentage went up. Additionally, according to Clive Belfield in the Democracy Journal, national service costs an equivalent of $2 billion per year. However, this number is smashed when we look at the 7.9 billion gain from national service, which would leave the total gain at 5.9 billion. To clarify, that would mean $4 returned to society for every $1 invested in it. On another point, award-winning journalist Jonathan Alter believes that expanding AmeriCorps, which is a voluntary civil society program, would increase the future employment rate for high school dropouts by 50%. So, requiring a year of national service would largely help our economy and our society. To conclude, America must make it required for every U.S. citizen to complete 1 year of national service in their lifetime. It gives them love for their country and would have many benefits both economically and socially for our country. Thank you, and please vote for the proposition.
I am Jamie I'm the third opposition speaker. First, I would like to refute my opponent Chalet's point that this is 1 year long of national service, which can what's the word I'm looking for? Hurt anybody's personal life. If you are working towards something really big, or let's say you're going through college or something, it's already hard enough to support yourself on, say, minimum wage budget and working through college. But if you had to do 1 year long of national service at the same time, that'd still hurt you. And even though it's, go ahead.
Again, it could be at any point in their lifetime. It doesn't, it could be when they get more comfortable. It doesn't have to be when they're working at
Am I
minimum
allowed to
wage.
say something?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So, I'd like to state the definition for national service I found. A federal program that enables young people to pay back government loans through community work.
Again.
Alright, also, when it comes to people in all of their lives, as my partner here has stated, what was the source again?
Source? Wait, for what?
Never mind. It enables young people to pay back student loans and things like that, but even if it's other people that are, say, past college and have a successful life, they still have their own life to attend to. And if they're going to be wasting 1 year of their life, not wasting, it still helps us, but they'd still be doing that on something else that's not helping themselves, and most people look out for themselves. Also, as flow of commerce is basically the idea, we're working a job and spending money and getting more money through that job helps out our economy. So if everybody's doing that, it'll still help our economy enough so to the point where we do not need to, as you put, do 1 whole year of national service. Also, with the sheer amount of jobs that we have, with my source money.cnn.com, we have over 6 million open jobs that we are working. If we were to do 1 year long of national service, there would not be as many people able to fill up those jobs, which would then mean not as many people to help our economy by working that job and making money and spending it. To conclude, I'd like us to all reflect on the fact that we pay taxes and we work tirelessly night after night. Well, not us, but adults, and we will eventually. And the fact that the government is trying to at least some of us trying to force it on us, it's honestly despicable. Thank you. Please support the opposition.